New at 6, a new Tulsa podcast and live show will let you hear from killers, even ask them questions.
This should be interesting. Bill Courtney was once an undercover New York police detective who worked high-profile cases like the shooting of rapper 50 Cent.
Tonight, Fox 23's crime and safety reporter John Acebus joins us live here in studio after talking with Courtney about his new show.
Yeah, quite a resume. Bill Courtney worked 3 decades with the New York Police Department. He worked cases that include 50 Cent and Haitian Jack. Many of the people he arrested or worked with are going to be here in Tulsa. You may have a chance to meet them. On top of that, speak with them. Tell me a little bit about yourself, where you came from, your time in New York.
I had a gift for convincing people to cooperate.
Bill Courtney and his law enforcement exploits are the definition of true crime.
I had the 50 Cent case where 50 Cent was shot numerous times by a gang known as the Supreme Team. He refused to cooperate in our investigation, but despite that, we were able to put away the leader of that organization and several of his lieutenants.
Bill's career was during the 90s at the height of crime and the crack epidemic.
The homicide rates were crazy. In the early 90s, we peaked at about 2,300 homicides. It was just lawlessness.
He says walking out of the door every day was dangerous. Courtney's job was to enforce the law undercover, deep in the world of crime.
When you're arresting, you know, the leaders of organizations, there's a kind of mutual respect, you know. They're trying to get away, you're trying to catch them, and if you win, so be it. They don't take it personal, it's business, you know. So we're dealing with that kind of individual. There's a little bit of redemption for them now.
A Sergio Tacchini jogging suit.
Oh, absolutely.
Now Tulsa will be the home of his podcast called The Proffer, to bring in people he arrested, some of them killers, some just trying to survive. You kind of went through the lineup a little bit, but name some of those names that we're going to hear soon.
Yeah, so I've got confirmation that Michael Franzese, who was a captain in the Colombo crime family, he had one of the greatest tax schemes going where he made millions and millions of dollars defrauding the government in the sale of gasoline. A young man by the name of Gene Borello, who was an enforcer for the Bonanno crime family, was coming on. A gentleman named Brian Blaze Gibbs, who was an enforcer for several organizations in Brooklyn. As a hitman, he killed at least 5 people that I know of. He's going to come on and tell his tale of redemption and how he brings now himself to different youth homes and jails to preach about staying away from that life on the street that's nothing but a trap.
Seems very diverse, like a lot of people that you put away and then also people you've worked with. What is it like reconnecting with them?
I'm in touch with all these mobsters and street guys, and they're all willing to come on, tell their story. There is a pride amongst them of surviving the violence of that era and making it out alive.
The first live event where you can interact with some of these people will be at the Center for Public Secrets on Saturday.
I'm bringing on a young woman whose parents I arrested, who were sentenced to life sentences for narcotics trafficking, and a famous New York prosecutor who has the greatest stories about the most bizarre homicides you ever heard.
In an era fascinated by the deepest, darkest crimes, where Courtney thrived for 3 decades, I asked him what it will be like for someone going.
We're going to give you the opportunity to ask those pointed questions and, have some interaction with some people who were really dangerous criminals back in the day. We're talking about hitmen, talking about people who had millions and millions of dollars and lost it all.
Courtney's other major investigations feature Cash Money Brothers, Black Mafia Family, and Murder, Inc. He also represented New York in the Biggie Tupac Task Force.
What a story, John. All right, a lot of people probably wondering, how do you get tickets to the first show, which Bill talked about in that story?
Not too difficult. On our webpage, fox23.com, we have information where you can buy tickets for the event Saturday. Again, at the Center of Public Secrets, kind of a fitting name. Just go to the story on fox23.com to find that information. We also have a list of documentaries that Bill Courtney has been featured on our webpage. Covering news that matters, John Acebus, Fox 23 News.